Alright, thanks for staying with us on BizTalk. If you have any comments, you can email us at biztalk@bernama-tv.com, or you can tweet us at biztalk502, or you can call us at 0326937008. And today we are actually talking about Islamic economics with Professor Muhammad Aslam and Doç.Dr.Saim KAYADİBİ from IIUM. And with regards to the second International Conference on Islamic Economics and Economies of the OIC countries, which will be on the 29th and 30th January, right? And before we went for a break, Professor Aslam would really like to add into what Dr. Saim said just now. So
I was just wanting to just add on. You know, he was talking about if there is one word that represents Islamic finance, it's the term that is used in Turkey, that is participation banking. They don't call it Islamic banks, they say participation banks.
Okay.
Yeah? And I
why
think that
don't you use that terminology, the Islamic? Was it a really, you do not want to have that perception that, it's only the Islam people or the Muslim people who use this?
Well, actually,
it's a Turkish.
in Turkey, as you know, that recently we become more democratic, and somehow we
could accept it.
Yeah, not the country itself, the people themselves actually, the system did not allow to use Islamic terminologies.
Right.
So with that reason, we used, instead of Islamic, what's called participation, for example.
Probably
so that's the reason.
And I think that's where the idea of what was mentioned earlier about equity financing and trying to talk about risk sharing rather than risk transfer or risk shifting.
Right.
And I think that is a good example of what Islamic banking, Islamic finance should be. Which is just another point. I think in Europe, you mentioned Europe just now. There are quite a number of views that are being discussed in Europe that says that if we want to promote Islamic finance in Europe, it will have to be beyond banks.
Oh, which means?
In other words, Islamic finance is a bigger area.
Yes.
Islamic banking is a particular type of finance.
Yes.
And so in Europe, because of their banking laws and the banking environment, it may not be easy for Islamic banks to operate in those banking environments.
Right.
And so there was a recent conference in Europe in which the conclusion was, after hearing the presentations and so on, that if you wanted to promote Islamic finance in Europe, you would probably need to go to non-banking institutions.
Oh.
And I was just thinking, maybe even in Muslim countries, this may not be a bad idea, because I think we've been giving too much attention to the banking institutions.
But not the economic.
Not necessarily for financial transactions.
Right.
Because we're talking about finance, which is also part of an economic system.
Yes.
And so banks are just one part of the financial system. And so we may need to look at other types of financial institutions in order to promote Islamic finance.
Right.
Which may share some of the ideals that was discussed just now, like equity financing, this idea of participation, sharing. Banking institutions may not necessarily be the best institutions to translate this into practice.
Right. Okay. We have another speaker that's going to be on the conference, so let's take a look at the package.
In my opinion, Islamic banking and finance is a subtopic of Islamic economics. But Islamic economics discuss wider issues, while banking and finance is mainly focused on how we can save in order to invest. Banking and finance can tell us how we can finance the basic needs or other investment needs of the people. So economics is a wider concept. Islamic fiqh, muamalat, Islamic banking and finance come under the main issues there, under the economic system. Well, Islamic economics is about justice, is about proper distribution of wealth in the society, is about spending, is about investment.
Kaçtı hocam kanat?